What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Just sending another video out, kind of letting you know what's going on with us here. And so we, how do I start this out? Let's start it out this way. So in the cleaning business, as an entrepreneur in general, our business it goes through ups and downs, kind of like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? And we've been doing really, really well, and we're still doing really, really well. But right now I'm going through kind of a transition period where I have to get more cleaners, more subs and stuff like that, because just all of a sudden, it just seems like all at once, all of my I won't say all of them. It seems like all of them, because I end up having to do the cleaning until I get somebody else back in those accounts. So I've had probably about 4 subcontractors either lose their account because I'm firing them, or they want to let go of an account, for whatever life reasons is going on. And that happens, and I understand, just stuff like that. So, and then I picked up another account that I have to fill, and I don't want to just put anybody in there. So I've been kind of going through a vetting process of getting some employees. These are going to be employees and not subcontractors in there. So I just had an interview with one person, and then a walkthrough with another person. And my decision was to, even though I had initially planned on having 2 people in that account, I'm breaking it down to 3 people now instead of 2. That way it gives some flexibility with the schedule. It doesn't burn any one person out, because this account is actually 7 days a week, but it'll end up being at least 5 days a week for any one person. So I want to break that down to kind of make sure I'm not, burning anybody out. And that's always my goal. I don't want to burn people out. I want to make sure that everybody is, comfortable, and everybody is, refreshed, rejuvenated, all that good stuff, in order to, get the best out of them. So, so right now, it hasn't been going as perfect. Everything hasn't been peaches and cream and roses and all that other good stuff. And that's what we have to understand. We expect our business, once we get it to a point, to be perfect, and it's always going to be that way. But no, you have to be able to be flexible and be able to pivot when you need to pivot, right? You need to know that everything is not going to stay status quo. Everything is not going to be perfect. Everything is not going to always go the way that you planned it to go. So when that happens, what do? Do you fold? Do you fold like a wet paper? Or do you, dig deep and you dig into the trenches and get your foundation set up, and then you just start pushing back and saying, okay, well, this is what went wrong in this situation. How do I fix it moving forward? Right? So now that's what I'm doing. I'm learning how to fix it moving forward, because I learned more from issues and problems and stuff like that happens, more than just figuring out and trying to have everything perfected. You learn from the actual experience. At least in my circumstance, I've learned from the experience, and maybe a lot of people are like that. So you learn from the experiences. Don't take these when you're going through that valley, that pitfall or whatever, or that down path that your business is not going as smoothly as you thought it would be. Even if you're automated, stuff can still happen, and then you have to kind of go back to the drawing board and see how you can fix that or keep that from happening in the future. So I'm learning a lot from it. But yeah, we are down like 4 subcontractors, but I think I'm on the upward path right now. Last night, one of my bigger accounts, I probably got matter of fact, I got a new subcontractor. I got the notification that they signed the contract for the subcontractors agreement, and also the contract for the actual account, which if you know me, you know that I do individual accounts, or individual contracts per account. That way they know everything that's required for the job. They know the supplies that are required, because the subcontractors are supposed to have their own supplies. I let them know what a minimum of what supplies they're going to need for each job. because if you're like me, you've cleaned your accounts. I've cleaned every last one of my accounts myself. I know what it takes. I know how long it takes. I know some of the ups and downs, so I can kind of foresee what can happen and what might happen, and I can let them know beforehand, and I can carry myself accordingly in reference to that. So I always know, hey, this is what you're going to need. This is what's going to happen. This is how long it should take, right? So they understand that. So like I said, we got somebody for one of those accounts. So that's going to work out. I still have another, 3 accounts to get somebody for. But because I've been doing interviews constantly, because I've been taking applications constantly, I have options out there. I just need to pick the best fit for the actual account. So I'm getting ready to go in here and get something to eat for me and my wife after coming from this job. But hopefully this was some type of encouragement, motivation, and just let you know it's not going to be roses and rose petals and chocolate candy and all that other stuff. It's always going to be a grind. You're always going to have to improve. You're always going to have to pivot when things happen. And just know that all your work is not in vain. As long as you're building a great foundation, you're creating systems, you're creating processes, you're automating your business. And speaking of automating, if you're not automating your business and you would like to automate your business, you want to get linked up with AJ Simmons and Clean Biz Network and the automations course, or automations kit now it's called, I believe. We've changed over to the name, the automations kit. That's what helps me do everything that I do, and how I'm not going insane currently, because if I didn't have my stuff automated, I would absolutely freaking lose my mind. But I still have a grasp of everything because I have so much stuff automated. Every time somebody does an application, I know about it. Every time somebody schedules an interview, Zoom interview with me, it goes right to my CRM. I know about it. I know when contracts are signed, all this stuff. It's absolutely amazing, and it takes so much off my plate, and it doesn't stress me out as much as I probably should be or would be if I didn't have it automated. So definitely go to Clean Biz University /automations to get in before the price goes up. You want to make sure, and you get, you basically get to talk to AJ and me in reference to your automations and automating your business. So definitely get linked up with that. If you're not ready for automations just yet, go to Clean Biz University, get the starter kit. Starter kit is the foundation of everything that you're going to need. Whether you're just starting off your cleaning business, or if you've already started your cleaning business and you probably just need a refresher, because I still go through it to this day. He's always updating it. He's always, putting new things in there to kind of make it, more up to date. Definitely. So I go in there and I look at it from time to time just to refresh my memory on some things with the starter kit. But with that being said, I'm going to go here and get something to eat. You guys have a blessed day. Keep grinding, keep pushing. Make sure you lock into my YouTube. You can go to Clean Success Academy, that YouTube. You can go to Squeaky Clean LLC YouTube, or you can go to my main YouTube, which is Sherman Andrew Lewis Jr. All those on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. That being said, catch you next time. Be blessed.